What's going on, everybody? Is What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. If you click, you become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the link. Now, with that being said, we're here today with day number 6 of In the Month of Madness. And you know what I had to do? I had to go ahead to a classic, a 1968 movie by the name of Night of the Living Dead by George A. Romero. Also starring Dwayne Jones, Judith O'Dea, Marilyn Eastman, Carl Hardman, Judith Ridley, and Keith Wayne. Now, this movie is one of the most iconic zombie movies known to the history of man. You know, like Romero is the king of zombies because of this damn movie, you know? So this movie has spawned countless sequels in the franchise, and we're just going to go ahead and talk about this movie today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the movie starts off with the most iconic scene ever. My man uh Barbara's walking in a cemetery with her brother, and he utters the most iconic words, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," which honestly is synonymous with horror. Like, we all know this damn scene. When we see it, we love it. We go crazy, right? Now, for those of you that don't know, this is a black and white movie, and if you see it in color, most likely you're watching the 1990 version with Tony Todd, I believe. But I digress. Anyway, Night of the Living Dead stars this young lady is in the cemetery visiting a relative. They're putting the flowers, paying the respects to their fallen relative, and somebody starts to walk up, attacks the brother. She freaks out. She runs. She gets in the car. She's being attacked by a swarm of zombies. She takes off and then takes for cover and hides for cover in the most nearest house. Right. So as she's in there, all of a sudden, boom! My man comes up barging through the door, and he's here to protect her. Essentially, not really. My man is here just to save his own ass. That's what's up, though. And remember, this is 1968, so black men barging through white people's doors is not the most safest thing. But I digress. Um, Ben, by the way, which is his character's name. So Ben comes in, he starts, zombie proofing everything, right? And then all of a sudden, this couple from downstairs comes barging up. Not even a couple, it's two dudes come barging up, and then they have a family downstairs. The point of the matter is, there becomes this struggle of power. And this is the part where the movie gets really good, because this is the most realistic shit ever. You always in a struggle when you have two people that believe that they're correct, that believe that their way is the way. You're going to have a power struggle, and this manifests in this house, and you already know that this conflict is going to end up being their downfall, because them not being on the same page is essentially the reason why they're all possibly going to die. Watching this movie, you know this coming in, right? Because we've seen enough movies, we've read enough books, we've seen this happen 100 million times. A united front can't hold off anything. Fast forward, they manifest a plan to go ahead and go from point A to point B in order to get the gas, and then go to a sanctuary, which they found out about through the television. The television always also states that this is possibly caused by some radiation from a shuttle crash or some sort of space adventure crash. And because of this crash, it emits huge amounts of radiation, and this is what they believe is the cause of the zombies, right? And they end up making this run for the sanctuary. And what ends up happening is they're trying to refill gas. They end up in a struggle with a swarm of zombies, and two of the characters loses their life. Now, the big thing about this movie is this. My man Ben goes back to the house. The homie is in there, and he's being a little bitch about it, doesn't want to answer the door. Ben kicks down the door, gives that man the beats of his life, and then proceeds to try to fight off the zombies while comatose girl is still there, Barbara, being helpless and unhelping the whole movie. Like, I mean, literally, this motherfucker doesn't do anything. She just sits there, standing there with her hair looking like a wig that's falling off, and she just looks just blankly at the camera. That must have been the most easiest amount of money she ever made. And I know this movie wasn't like paying these actors buku's amount of money. I know this movie was made on like a hell of a shoestring budget. So I understand that she probably didn't get paid much, but she damn sure got paid, compensated well for what the hell she did. She just stared blankly at a camera all day. Let's keep it a buck here. Everybody else was basically carrying this fucking movie because Barbara wasn't trying to do shit, but sit there and look blankly at the damn screen. But anyway, I digress. Barbara finally snaps out of this comatose stage, tried to help Ben. It's too late. She gets yanked out of the damn window. Zombies gobble her ass up like a fucking, like a New York hot dog or some shit. I don't know. And what ends up happening is Ben gets into a struggle with the man downstairs. He shoots the man. Their daughter that has apparently been bit by zombies. And by the way, Ben brings this up. She could have any type of disease. She could be sick as a dog. He brings that up as a point in the movie, and it turns out to manifest into the truth. Little daughter wakes up from the dead. She becomes the iconic person on the poster and the DVD. If you guys have seen it, the little girl with the black eyes, that's the daughter. She's in the movie for like a couple of seconds, dude, and I swear she gets the most playtime. Now, I honestly, if I never would have seen this movie, and I imagine going to see this movie in that day and age, I probably would have been like, yo, that was a dope ass twist. But the fact that I know this movie already, the fact that I'm familiar with this the zombie idea, it kind of ruined the like surprise for me. But I can definitely see if I was in the movie, if I lived in that era and I watched this movie, I definitely could see myself geeking out over that shit. Little girl waking up, stabbing her with a freaking gardening tool. And Ben comes down, gets his little shoot on, bop, 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 lays them all down, barricades himself in a freaking cellar. The next day, we wake up and we hear the sweeping of zombies. Now, I don't mean they're outside with, brooms and shit trying to clean up the courtyard. I mean, the army has finally came. They're shooting down the zombies, and they're trying to find any sole survivors left. Ben ends up going upstairs, looking out the window, and in the process is mistaken for a zombie and gets shot. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been years since I've seen this movie. I watched this movie with my aunt when I was younger. My aunt loved watching these movies, and I loved when she used to tell me all the cool stories about growing up and going to see these movies when they first came out. So it's really, really cool. It's been a while, so I didn't remember that scene happening. So when Ben got shot, I was like flabbergasted. I was like, oh, shit. I thought that he was going to be the sole survivor, on some Akon shit. But my man got shot down and thrown in a pile of shit and burned. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was unexpected. I was like, oh shit, like Ben died. Oh fuck. Well, there's no survivors here. So Night of the Living Dead is one of the most iconic zombie movies ever. It's pretty much like top 5 zombie movies, hands down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really good fucking movie. Romero did a really good job on a limited budget. He got some great actors, and not to mention that you have a black lead in 1968 with an all-white cast. That was something unheard of, and then him being like, the one running the shit, and it's not like, the one thing I'm glad is they didn't play the race up. Race wasn't really played up like that, but honest to God stuff, like, I'm really glad that a black man was given a chance, to do something, and especially how big that movie ended up becoming. Even though I believe that the character, even though Dwayne Jones didn't really go on to do much after that, I believe he was in Ganja and Hez, though. Wasn't he in Ganja and Hez? Yeah, he was in Ganja and Hez. He was the lead in Ganja and Hez, which is a movie I reviewed last year. If you guys are interested, you might want to check the channel, backlog that shit. But yeah, Romero, iconic horror director. Everybody loves him. I mean, after Dawn of the Dead, I didn't really check in on anything after Dawn of the Dead, but I can't deny his legacy in horror. This was an iconic movie, black and white, great cast, dope storyline. So, kudos to him for that. And that is basically my selection for today. So you guys are going to have to tune in tomorrow to see what my day number 7 pick is, which is also within the theme. I don't know if you guys are knowing, a lot of my movies are being paired together, which is pretty cool, but you'll see tomorrow. Anyway, so that is my day number 6. of In the Month of Madness. I chose Night of the Living Dead. I want to highlight that, give Romero his flowers, tell him that he's an amazing person, amazing director, and without him, the zombie franchise wouldn't be as popular as it is right now. You know, zombies were a thing and they will always come back in style. They resurrect just like zombies. So tune in tomorrow to see what we're talking about, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.